It's YouTube Wednesday! I have my 5-gallon bucket here, and I'm going to use it to make the base plate of the mechanical hand. Basically, I have the width that I want. I kind of marked it out, and that way both of those are the same. I'm going to eyeball the rest of it, really, because I want a hand shape, and this is going to go down into my wrist, and then it's going to go back out again in order for this piece of the bucket to wrap around my forearm and hold that steady. Okay, here, down for a wrist. That wrist looks a little weak, so I'm going to thicken that up a little bit. Okay, there we go. I now have that marked out exactly the way that I want it. And I'm going to use a Dremel Trio, this tool here, in order to cut it out. Alright, there I am. I have my heat gun. I have my piece cut out of a 5-gallon bucket. Alright, and you can now, I'm going to heat this up here so that when I put this on my arm, this will heat gun and bend around in order to help hold it onto my arm. I'll put a support brace up here also, but this is going to be, you know, pretty imperative to holding it onto my arm while I'm using it. Okay, just a matter of getting it hot. I'm going to hit this one area. It bends nice and easy now. I'm going to give it a bend. And I have a spray bottle just full of water that I can hit on that. And that'll just help cool it down and help it hold that bend a little better. I want to go ahead and put a little bit of a bend right here down the center. So I'm going to heat that up with the heat gun. Anytime something is bent, it's, you know, in this direction, it's going to add a little bit of strength. So just giving it this little bit of a bend means there's more material in that same area, which will make it a little bit stronger. That's all I need is a little. To make a more natural wrist on this, I'm going to heat this up and bend it just back slightly, because when I'm rearing my hand back, I want more of this than I do this. Okay, this is not as, but this is, you know, a little more natural. So I'm going to give a crease to this wrist. Try not to douse your heat gun with water while you are spraying this, because it's made of electronics. I'm going to give one more bend over here, and that should just about have me where I want to be to hold it onto someone's arm. While I have my heat gun out, I'm going to work on forming the fingers. I've cut 1/2-inch CPVC pipe, which is a little thinner than PVC pipe, into 12 to 14-inch sections, depending. I've marked the center, because that's where I'm going to put my bend. You bend it really simply. Heat gun. Gets good and hot. Right there on that mark. Keep it moving. Don't let it sit in one place, because this can catch fire. So keep it spinning, and when it's getting soft and it changes color a little bit, that's when it's going to be good to bend it. See, now I can get a bend. I don't want to bend it so much there's a big kink in it. I really only want to bend it maybe 45 degrees. Okay? And again, I'm hitting it with water to make it stay in that position. So that's strong. If you bend it too much, it gets a kink in it, and that'll weaken it. So don't do that. Next part of the process is I have strap hinges. These are 3-inch strap hinges. These happen to come in a 2-pack. I believe I got these at Home Depot. I'm not entirely sure where I got them, but I got them. So this piece here is this part of the big hand. Alright, I'm going to attach the fingers to this. All of the fingers need, of course, a joint. So that's what these are. I'm going to lay them out, and I'm going to splay the fingers because I want a big threatening monster hand. I'm going to trace the whole hinge, and I'm going to mark 2 of the 3 holes. Mark these, and obviously don't mark one that's going to be inside of this ledge here, because you see where these 2 come together, that makes a plastic T, where this comes down, this hangs over a little bit. You don't want to have to drill through that, okay? You want to be on one side of that or the other. You don't want to put them at too hard of an angle, because if they're at too much of an angle, it's going to create weird tension when you're trying to do your pull cable mechanism. So I just do a slight angle on the outer fingers and a real slight angle on the middle fingers. I'm just going to use this to drill my holes. Okay. So now I'm going to rivet on my hinges. So here's all my rivets. I'm going to put it through here, into there. Put my gun on it, stay pushed down, squeeze my handles. And set that rivet. Okay, so I have 7 more to do. Knock these out. I now have all of these riveted onto here really well. This is important. When you put on your hinges, make sure the barrel is down. You don't want the barrel up on top. You don't want this with the back of the hand. You want the back of the hand up here and the barrel down. Okay? Very important. Because now it goes all the way down, but it stops right there. Now even that's unnatural for fingers, so we're going to put a brake on it when I put on the fingers. Attaching the fingers. I want to just, there's a stop back here, which is the top of that rivet coming out from the back side. I want to line up my finger in such a way where it's resting against that stop on that back hinge, and use a Sharpie to mark where that is. And I also have to line up this round piece of pipe with 2 of these holes. Okay, there's one, and there's one. Set that aside. Now that my holes are marked, I'm going to go drill them out. I'm going to go ahead and attach it by the bottom one. I put a letter on each of them so I know which one is which. This is left hand. 4, middle, ring, pinky. This one has an M. I'm looking for the 4 finger. Pinky, 4 finger. Now I have a finger that is attached. The reason why I measured and put this up against this piece here was because I wanted this hangover. This bit of hangover gives me a natural stop. I have my hand here with my hinged fingers, and I'm going to put a hole under each finger coming through. I'm going to use a soldering iron to do that because it melts the plastic pretty clean. Just a nice simple push. Have a fan on while you do this because it does make a little bit of fumes. They're not super bad for you as long as you have some good ventilation. I'm also going to make a small hole at the end of each hinge into the CPVC pipe. Now I'm just going to take a small knife and clean up where I melted the plastic. It causes a little burr, and I'm just going to take that burr off. It's real easy to do, just kind of scrape it off. So I'm going to clean up all these and get right back to it. So now, whenever you lift the hand, the fingers fall down. I don't want that to happen. I want it to have a normal position that is not, all folded up. So I bought small bungees. I think I got these at Home Depot. They're not very expensive. They're really small, like 12-inch bungee cords. And now I'm going to hook them into the back plate here and then into the finger. And that's going to hold them down with some tension. A few more holes I've got to put in. I'll get on that right now, so that I will be able to attach a bungee cord. Those are the holes that I needed put in. I put them along the plate here, which was the rim of the bucket, and I put them at the very end of each pipe, CPVC pipe. Now I have 12-inch bungee cords from Home Depot. They come 6 to a package, and you'll need 8 for this project. I am hooking it in, pulling it across, and then I am hooking it in. When I'm looking, and that gives me too much slack, so I'm just going to tie a knot in it, which is going to shorten this cord. I'm going to tie it right here after the hook, and that way the hook, it won't go past the hook and it takes up some room, which will give me more tension on this. Getting out my little cutters to bend out this hook a little bit. My little needle nose is bent. I'm putting it through, and then I'm going to use these to bend this hook back. So now you can see I've got it bent nice and close together, so it's not going to come out. And do the same up here to this side. Flipping it over, I have some very simple wire, but it just has to flex a little bit in order to accomplish what we need to accomplish. We don't need a lot here, so I'm just going to cut off 4 pieces that are 14 inches or so, which is going to be too much. And I'll trim it down as I need it. Done with the wire. So now I need finger rings. I have adjusted my fence, so I've got about a 1/2 inch every time I use the saw and I cut my PVC pipe. I'm going to get about a 1/2 inch ring. And now I drill these out. I have my PVC pipe cut already, and I have a hole drilled through each one. I am simply putting a bit of wire through it, through the hole, and I'm twisting it on itself. And I'm going to go ahead and do all of these to get them prepped. I know that this hand is going to be my left hand. So this is my pinky. I'm running it through the hole here, and then I'm going to run it all the way through the pipe. Because remember, I put a hole in either side of the pipe. And I just need to test fit it. I want my hand to be about there, so I want this finger ring to be right about there. And what I'm doing now is I'm bending the wire to make sure it doesn't cause a problem going through the hole. Alright, so where that wire was twisted, that could have been a catch point, but now I made it not a catch point. And now it's simply a matter of wrapping this around. I'm going to line up the rest of mine and get these wired together. What I need now is I need straps that'll hold this onto my arm. Like I said, this was a left, so I'm going to set this down here. Just going to use a little Sharpie and mark where I want my hand strap to go. I'm going to simply burn them through the width of my strap. This is a lashing strap that I got at Walmart. They come in their camping section. Okay. If I weren't trying to show the camera, I could probably do that a lot smoother. On the back side, I'm just going to hot glue to the strap. This is the back of the hand again. And I'm just going to push that down onto the plastic. This is really good hot glue, so this is going to work. I could put another rivet in it as long as the smooth side was against the back of my hand. I have the rest of the lashing strap here, and I am going to just make it so that I can tighten the rest of this around my forearm. I don't need a ton of tension, because odds are I'm going to have a covering over this anyway. It's going to be fur, or I might do, if I want to steampunk this out, I could do just leather buckles. But you want to be able to get your hand inside of it, get your finger to all the rings, and have it hold on and stay in place. And that's where I'm at now. I'm going to tighten this a little bit more because I can make it tighter. So I'm just going to do that on the strap itself. There we go. And once I have it as tight as I want it, I'm going to go ahead and cut this with the soldering iron. Just going to cut it with the soldering iron by running it across. Then I'm putting a dab of glue onto it, which will hold this strap down to this size. And then I fit this over here. Alright, so now hand goes in, my fingers find all of the rings. So here they are, finished moving hand extensions.
Well, that's fun.